of conference talks, and it's very interesting that Melanie talked to us about using artificial intelligence in doing our presentations or our proposals for this matter. Because I know some people who work for the proposals committee in other conferences, I will not name them, and they were like, you cannot use artificial intelligence whatsoever. Then I spoke to the lady and I said, really, how would you know if people do use artificial intelligence? And she said, we just mention it, don't use artificial, but you will never know. Just accept, whatever we find good. So here we're being honest. You can use artificial intelligence, but we want to see you there. Let us see what you have when you stand there on your feet and present. It was also interesting, to know some of the secrets from the kitchen, like, the blind check-in of proposals. And, I myself didn't know how this was done, to be honest with you. Now, you passed the first 2 tests. You did your research, action research. You submitted a successful proposal, and now you're planning to do your presentation. So to many, this is a real challenge, to face a live audience or even, to face people virtually. So Dr. Fathi's talk is exactly about that. It is titled Strategies for Delivering Engaging Presentations. Little bit about the presentation now. It's crafting an impactful presentation requires thoughtful strategies and key considerations. This session we're about to listen to will explore specific insights and practical techniques for delivering a well-structured presentation workshop that resonates with your audience and inspires action. By focusing on specific key elements, presenters can elevate their presentation skills and ensure that their presentations are not only informative, but also transformative, leaving a lasting positive impression on their audience. Dr. Fathi Ben Mohamed is a senior learning and development specialist at a vocational technical academy in Abu Dhabi, the United Arab Emirates. He has over 30 years of experience in the field of leadership and English language teaching in multilingual settings. He holds an M.Phil degree in English and Educational Studies from the University of Glasgow, Scotland. He has been involved with TESOL Arabia, now TESOL Conferences, for many years, holding various leadership positions. And of course, now he is a co-chair of the conference. So without further ado, to Dr. Fathi now. And over to you, sir.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, Mohammed, for organizing this event. I'm very happy to meet many people I know already, probably some new people I haven't met before. But, this virtual world can bring us all together, so this is absolutely fantastic. I'd like to correct 2 things, Mohammed. A, I'm not a doctor, and C, it's only 30 years of experience. Come on, you said 50, Mohammed.
I didn't say 50. I mean, I said 30. Yeah, so you started working when you were 2 years old, maybe?
The other thing I'd like to say, Christine, sorry, I thought the event started at 5:30. Building on what has been said, so I'd like to explore a few strategies for us as presenters, to probably fine-tune our skills and deliver something that is quite impactful and engaging. Many people invest a lot of time in working on a presentation, and it's unfortunate if their effort goes unnoticed. So I hope by looking at this input today, we can all move forward with our presentations going forward. I prepared an outline, so I'd like to talk about why do we engage in public speaking, and then I'd like to explore the qualities of a successful speaker, and then we'll move to the preparation and planning phase, which is extremely important, where you need to understand your audience, you need to make sure your content is of a certain quality and relevance. You need to pay attention to how you are going to structure the narrative of your presentation, how you are going to leverage visual and design elements, and then as you deliver, how you craft a compelling narrative, how you master specific delivery techniques, and how you get to the conclusion and try to leave a lasting impact and inspire some action, while at the same time paying attention to overcome a set of challenges. Now, why do we engage in public speaking? Why do we expose ourselves? Why are we so keen, or many of us are so keen on presenting? I won't tell you how many presentations Christine has delivered throughout her, 25 plus years, career in EFL and TESOL and language education. I think she told me the other day that she did around 700 maybe. So what motivated Christine to do that many presentations? I think presenting is a source of inspiration for all of us. It's something that drives your professionalism. It shows your professional responsibility. It shows that you are attending to your personal growth, and it shows to what extent you are contributing to the field. So I'm going to list a few reasons, and I think they are applicable to whether we are presenting at a research conference or at a classroom practical-based conference or delivering a practical-based presentation. So they apply across the board. So a reason would be educational contribution and knowledge sharing, which all presenters engage in. It's a sign of you attending to your professional development. It's you also looking for networking with like-minded people, probably seeking potential collaborations on future projects, future presentations, future research papers, articles. And obviously you would like to advance your career goal. Of course, you are enhancing your research impact if you are into research and working for a tertiary institution where conducting research is a criteria for you to get promoted. So enhancing your research impact through presenting and disseminating the findings can increase your citation, for example, in the citation of your work, and can probably draw some recognition from the academic community to you. Also, this is part of career advancement and recognition, because sharing is always something highly valuable, and it does contribute to career advancement and to promotion at work, as I said earlier. And maybe you are also contributing to your institutional standing and your institutional positioning. If you are talking on behalf of your institution, be it a university or a school or whoever, and you are having the logo of your institution on your slides, then you are doing some marketing for your place, and why not? I mean, that also is something that could foster future academic partnership. By the way, if you want to interrupt me and ask questions, I don't mind, or in the chat box. Now, what makes a good speaker? A, subject matter expertise. If you are like sharing some best practices or classroom tips, it's better to anchor things into what you read, yeah? So deep understanding of the topic, some thorough research and preparation is always worth it. Obviously, you need strong communication and presentation skills. Presenters are never born presenters. It's a trade that you can get excellent at through practice. So practice is a key here. So that's why strong communication skills imply that you can clearly articulate your ideas and express them in a concise, impactful, understandable manner. And also, it shows that you are connecting and engaging with the audience. Communication skills allow you to engage with the audience. You don't want to be just there talking, like a teacher, frontal teaching. and we know what frontal teaching, what the outcomes of frontal teaching are. So, it's not a one-man show. You would love to have the audience engaged with you because you are presenting, sharing, and at the same time you are learning as well. And, successful speakers have authenticity, have passion, and have confidence. I think passion is key here. No one wants to listen to an unenthusiastic speaker. Like, if you are not enthusiastic, if you are not passionate, why would I care me sitting there listening to you, basically? Yeah? That's the idea. So with time, we can achieve this level of successful, skill mastery, okay? Now, let's come to the planning phase. So you are sitting down, let's say you get invited, or you are, I don't know, you are going to present at a conference, particularly if it's in another part of the world or in a context that you are not so familiar with. You really need to know your audience, because not knowing the audience means you are going to, fall off point at certain times. Yeah. So you need to know, you need to understand the audience so you can connect to them and create a content that resonates with them. People come to listen to us speaking because they want to learn something. And they would be able to learn something if we adapt the content and the strategy and the way we put things together to that specific context. Okay, so you need to know the audience, what their needs are, what motivates them to come to you, what are their interests, what are their values, their expectations. Yeah, as much as you can. I'm saying, obviously, you will not be able to conduct, scientific research, but as much as you can. What are the demographics? How many you are expecting to attend your session? What are their age? What are their profession? Obviously, if you are in an educational context at a school level, it's going to be teachers. Most likely, you will have males and females. What's the knowledge level? How much do they know about your topic? Okay, and what are the potential objections or concerns of certain members of your audience? If you are talking about, I don't know, let's say AI integration in teaching and learning, you may encounter people who still don't believe in AI integration. Okay, so you may meet with slight resistance there. Now, once you understand them, obviously you will tailor content to their interests. Okay, so you can connect with them better, you can keep them engaged, and you can engage different types of learners. The audience are learners anyway. You have those who would interact more if you show them more videos, those who interact more with the content if you show graphs, visuals, etc. So know your audience. This is where succeeding or failing very often happens. And I'm sorry, if you don't your audience well, also it shows that you are not really serious. Yeah. So you need to know your audience well. Now, once you have your topic, your audience, you need to clarify and define the purpose of your presentation. Okay, what do I want to achieve through my presentation? Am I here to inform people, like persuade them for specific reason, entertain them? Okay, share personal experience, share research findings. That's part of informing. And what is the main message you want to convey? Like, are you trying to convey people that you tried out specific apps that drive better lesson planning, and you would like them to go home and use the apps, or are you just talking like a generally? would you expect people to walk away with? Okay. This will guide the content, will guide the structure, and allow you to stay focused. And all of this, of course, happens ahead of time. Take time through these phases, okay? Take days and probably weeks sometimes to get to the right formula. Put it all together. Now we come to the content, okay? The content you are presenting should be of a certain quality and should be of, full relevance to the audience, all right? So that's why you need to, again, do some research, even if it's, you're sharing a simple classroom practice or idea. Okay, now, what does research say about that specific? Because you don't just want to focus on what you exactly are doing, you want to enlarge the understanding and the knowledge. Also, through reading and researching, you'll be able to answer unexpected questions. Ensure accuracy and credibility of the content you are sharing, particularly if you are citing. So make sure you quote, your material in a proper way, and ensure accuracy. Ensure ideas and content are presented clearly. Clarity is key in everything you do. Okay. Sometimes it's clear to you, but it's not clear to your own. I've been to many places where it just didn't sound clear to me. Probably, it's clear to the person who is presenting. But again, not running your content, let's say with a colleague or, I don't know, on a small group level to get feedback, sometimes doesn't clarify your path. So, ensure ideas are presented clearly. Provide real-world applications. Don't be too theoretical, okay? Because what really is memorable is real-world examples, real-world experience, okay? So as much as you can, relate to real-world application, real-world experience. Now, you are still at home, you are going to create a certain structure and organize your ideas, okay? Now think about the introduction. The minute you are on stage, so to speak, the introduction is really key, yeah? The introduction and the conclusion, they really are key, yeah? So an effective introduction would captivate your audience, okay, would grab their attention and would keep them engaged. Now, how you do it, it also establishes your credentials as a speaker. And I have been, and I'm sure all of you have been to presentations where after the first 10 minutes, you left the room, okay? Don't tell me you haven't done it. I'm sure everybody has done it. It's simply because you are not hooked. Sorry, there was nothing in the initial phase that actually grabbed your attention. You could be judgmental, but again, I'm not going to blame you, but I blame whoever is trying to speak in front of the audience. So you could hook, I don't know, your audience by asking thought-provoking questions, okay? I don't know, if I stick with technology, I could ask the audience, do you think our jobs as teachers will be here in 10 years' time because of all this technological advancement? So thought-provoking questions tend to mobilize your audience and pique their interest. Also, you may start with a startling fact, for example. You're trying to, I'm not saying shake, but you're trying to call your audience's attention and thinking. So you could say, I don't know, 10 million jobs will be lost within 5 years because of technology advancement, for example, and see the reaction. Okay, you could use a quotation, you could use some statistical figure, you could tell a story or a challenge, but always make sure there is relevance about the topic you are addressing and whatever opening you are trying to utilize so that you can build a rapport with your audience. Storytelling, of course, to create some emotional connection. You could say, I'm sharing with you something that I implemented at my school level, and my colleagues, I don't know, acknowledge the fact that it's something really effective, etc. So storytelling is a very powerful way of keeping your audience engaged during those beginning few minutes. Okay. Now, as you move forward, you need to craft a compelling narrative. You need to have a logical flow of ideas. Okay. You need to lead your audience through, a learning journey. Okay, because that's what your presentation is. You're taking them from one step to another, very gently. Remember that they've come to you. Remember that you volunteered to present. So you need to lead this journey and have them on board with you throughout the process. Okay? Make sure things flow logically. You need to have an outline. You need to group related ideas together. You need to use transitions. Okay? And I've noticed that people who use transitions really, make their presentation sound polished. You would know that this is a very well thought out talk, okay, because the person has really been in full control of the content they are sharing. You also need to create what you call memorable key points. Okay, not everything in your presentation is going to be memorable. Not everything is important, okay? But at least certain catchy headlines to make specific points stick with your audience, okay? Now remember, your job is to have your audience go home with something they have learned, yeah? So again, that should be your ultimate goal, okay? You can use analogies to express complex ideas. You can repeat key messages throughout your presentation. Why not? Okay. If these are the key messages, reinforce them by coming back to them, hopefully in a different fashion, but yes, come back to them. You can leverage, obviously, visual design elements. I did the input for this presentation, and I asked PowerPoint, ChatGPT, to develop the design and the layout. And what you are looking at now is actually the design that was offered to me by ChatGPT. Yeah? By the way, you cannot beat it. I mean, there is no way you can beat it. I tried to play with fonts and things, I just screwed up. So if you ask ChatGPT to do something for you in terms of layout and fonts and colors and pictures, just let ChatGPT do the job. Please don't interfere. I'm telling you, I interfered with this and I screwed up lots of things. So make sure whatever you use in terms of visual aids, pictures, etc., enhance your narrative, okay, and enhance your message, but not distract or overpower your whole presentation. Sometimes we see too many pictures, too many colors, too many graphs, too many. Sorry, no. Use things sensibly. Use them as supports, okay? So make the slides visually appealing, yes, okay? using clear font, contrasting colors, high quality images, maintain design consistency, okay, like all headings, same font, same, same font size, font type, okay. Choose the right slide layout to emphasize key points, okay. You could use, I don't know, image and text. You could use text only. You could use image only. You could use graphs. You could use diagrams. The important thing is to enhance clarity and to convey the message as effectively as possible. Again, appropriate font choices, proper spacing. Oh, this is we see often, by the way, overcrowded slides, okay? And when you are sitting in an auditorium, like 50 meters away from the screen and the slide is overcrowded, you'll just miss it. So that's why you need to limit the amount of text and use bullets to highlight key information. Now we get to the conclusion. Clear, concise conclusions where you summarize the main points, okay? And where you are going to make sure each attendee at least has one takeaway from your presentation. It's your responsibility to facilitate the learning process, yeah? I'm sorry, if people leave you with nothing to think about or with nothing to reflect upon, it's most likely you are part of the responsibility. So keep it short, keep it concise. That's why if it's a 45-minute presentation, your concluding statement should be like 3 minutes and should create a lasting impact on your audience and help them remember the key ideas. Now, those were, let's call them technical things, but the human element is us. The presenter is key here. The presenter is the person who delivers, and therefore the presenter needs to make sure delivery has taken place as effectively as possible. So you need to master some public speaking skills, okay? You need to be aware of body language and to what extent, you moving on stage is not a distraction to your audience. Yeah, your movement can very often convey confidence, convey credibility, your enthusiasm, your authenticity. Yeah, and all of this puts the audience at ease, and the audience will be more willing to interact and share as well. So if you are on a stage, if they give you a stage, you may want to just go down and be on the same level as the audience. Yeah, I've seen Christine do that very often. She's not quite comfortable on a stage. She'd rather be with the audience. Eye contact is extremely important. Unfortunately, like this presentation now, virtual, I can see nobody. And I wish I could see you all. Like, eye contact is such a valuable thing, It reaffirms what you're saying. It shows the rapport you have initiated and you are building, yeah? So unfortunately, yeah, technology is fantastic, but at the same time, we are losing a lot. Using effective pacing, varying your tone. Okay, so your tone should be confident, but not an authoritative one. Yeah, you don't come to people like top down. You're one of them. Okay. Using gestures as the image there, the person in the image, like pointing to someone. When these are natural and they don't distract, they can definitely enhance audience engagement. And remember that the messenger, i.e. you, the speaker, is just as important as the message itself. Okay. Now, consider interacting with the audience. Like if the audience with you, you need to build that into your presentation. And that happens in the planning phase, yeah? Audience participation and interaction is very, very important, okay? It creates a welcoming and inclusive environment. It shows that we are here to share, that we are learning from one another. And it shows that the presenter, who should be the subject matter expert, is himself or herself a learner as well, because we all grow together. So you may involve a quiz, you may involve a poll, a QR code. Let's see your reactions, to what extent you use, I don't know, AI to plan lessons, okay, and display these statistics, okay. You can have a group activity or pair activity. Always ensure relevance, obviously, to your topic. And if you are asking the audience to do something, please be sure you provide clear instructions. I'm sorry, I've been to presentations where I didn't figure out what the presenter asked us to do. Yeah. Well, if you include incentives, obviously, that would go a long way. Yeah. And as you are asking for their engagement and interaction, also be open for feedback, because they may share ideas with you on the spot that probably would ask you to adjust your talk in one way or another. Now, handling questions. Okay, this is extremely important. And please make sure you leave ample time for questions and discussion at the end. Yeah. If it's not a plenary or a featured session with a large audience, if it's a workshop or a session with an audience of 30 or 25 or whatever, leave space for questions and discussions, okay? Be prepared for difficult questions. Again, this is from the planning phase, okay? Be confident in providing answers, because remember, you did your research, you did your readings, you thought about your topic, you try to foresee what could be the challenges, what could be the questions, etc. And if you don't know, just be honest and say, I'm sorry, I cannot answer this question now, but I'll email you with an answer, or email me so we can talk it over. That's better than providing incorrect information. And sometimes, when people ask you a question, you see, you have the mic, everyone can hear you, but the person asking the question, not many people would hear the question. So it's good for you to repeat the question. Say, well, the gentleman is asking such and such question. And that also gives you time to think about the answer. Now, success depends on good practice, so please practice ahead of time. Melanie talked about that. Rehearse in front of a mirror, for example, at home. Record yourself and look at the recording. This is extremely powerful. When you record yourself and you watch yourself, do it with a colleague. You record her and she records you. And wow, that's an amazing exercise of, developmental feedback. And obviously you can get feedback from a colleague, from a mentor. You can do the presentation at a school before you go to a big conference. There are different ways of making sure you practice ahead of time and you're a master of the presentation itself. Now, to create a lasting impact, obviously, towards the conclusion, again, we are coming to this. Identify the key points again. Use concrete examples, provide actionable recommendations, rather than, well, I'm sharing the bibliography with you, please, when you go home, you can see all the resources are used. No, you could say, well, I use this app and I think you should go and try and use it. And if you find it interesting, please email me back, because I do find it interesting. So make it actionable. Again, always solicit feedback for your continued improvement and follow up with your audience. You see Christine always sharing her email address at the end of her presentation, saying, well, if you want the slides, if you want to interact with me, go ahead. That audience is something very precious. They were your guests for a while. Don't let them go without building something hopefully solid enough. Now, there are challenges, obviously, and you need to be prepared and expect a set of challenges. But again, preparation is key. Okay, among the challenges we talk about dealing with technical issues. Okay, particularly if you are at a conference, technology doesn't work. You cannot find the IT guy. You don't have a converter or an adapter. Always remain calm, remain professional while you implement your backup. I've seen people screaming and shouting in the corridors looking for the IT guy because he wasn't there. Okay, fine, but keep calm and be as professional as possible. Also, sometimes, particularly when you're speaking in a foreign country, you need to be aware that people do things probably culturally different, okay? So try to make sure you understand certain cultural norms and avoid stereotypes, okay, like overgeneralizing, yeah? Be respectful, be open-minded, show appreciation, be kind, okay, be approachable. This is my advice to you. People need to see you as an approachable figure. And make sure you deliver the presentation within the allotted time. Don't start screaming in the last 5 minutes and say, oh, I've run out of time. Sorry, you've run out of time. You should have been managing your time properly. A good advice would be to have one of your friends in the audience, like telling you about the time from a difference, like telling you, oh, you have 10 minutes left or something. Also, among the challenges, we often meet what you call problematic attendees, okay? We meet latecomers. Sometimes they walk in with a phone and they are still taking a call, okay, and looking for a place and trying to sit in the front and really disturbing the whole setup. You have, hecklers also, again, trying to interrupt you sometimes with aggressive commands. You have grants, people who think that your presentation is a floor for them to probably attract attention and impress people. I've seen all of these, problematic attendees, so to speak. Okay, so they could be somehow disturbing. It's not always happening, but there are times when it happens. Particularly grandstanders, I think we still see them. You have a plenary, you have an invited guest speaker, you have an auditorium of 200 or 300 people, and someone wants the mic and then he won't let the mic go. We have seen it happening, and I've seen it happening with the very same people more than once. So don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. Like say, can you please, can we take this conversation after the session? Okay. Can you meet me after the session? We have plenty of time. But don't let these things, overtake the whole thing. Now, we've come to the end. You went home. You are reflecting on the experience. And you are planning to move on, to move forward. You've learned so much, so you capitalize on the feedback. You don't concentrate on what went wrong at all. You just forget about it. Just focus on the feedback. Focus on what will drive you forward. Criticism, particularly which is not developmental, don't really consider it. It will happen anyways. Great presentations come about through trial, error, and lots of practice. And revise your material immediately afterwards. So sit back, take your journal, and jot down a few things. Say, well, on slide such, I think next time when I present slide 7, I will shape it differently. So capitalize on those, early hours, so to speak, to reflect and probably implement some improvements which you will consider next time you present. with that in mind, I would like to thank you all for being such an amazing audience. And I look forward to, meeting you maybe, hopefully, at the TESOL conference soon. Okay. And to you, Mohammed, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. That was a lot to digest in 30 minutes. I mean, every part of it can be, but that can be broken down into what, 10 sessions or something. How to talk, body language, your PowerPoint, and how to organize it, the flow of the presentation to make it more coherent and cohesive. Even how to run the Q&R session and how to go home, to reflect on the experience. Wonderful indeed. Thank you so much, sir. One thing I believe was, yes, sir.
Oh, I said you're most welcome.
Oh, one thing I believe was very, very powerful is having a message that your audience can walk away with that will help them, to remember the main idea of your talk. Now, we're coming to the conclusion, or almost the conclusion of this wonderful event. And there will be a few links that will be shared. I will share with you now in the chat. The first one will be the form, the Google form that you need to fill out to get your certificate. So I'll share this right now. Please don't get confused. This is the first one to get your certificates that you might want to fill up now. Here it is. All right, so it's forms.gle, so that's Google. And the second one is our special interest group Facebook page, and that we would love to see you join. And this is it. If you would join us, please, we'll be honored. The certificates will be shared on our Telegram channel. So once we're done, we will post all the certificates, all of them, on this dedicated Telegram channel for the certificates only. And this is the link. So it's a third link. And finally, this talk is, all the talks actually, this whole event are recorded. So the recordings along with the summaries of the talks and the PowerPoints and the materials and everything will be posted on this last link here, our Telegram channel. So you have 4 links. You need to fill up the first one so that you get your certificate. Right. And may I ask if we can take a few questions, if we have some time, a few minutes, just a few minutes for Q&A. May I ask Dr. Christine and Dr. Fathi? Is that okay?
Sure.
Yes, a few minutes. Okay, thank you. So I will allow everybody now to unmute themselves if they wish, and you can just ask your question. Or if you don't want to speak, that's fine. You can write your question in the chat box and we will read it out loud for the presenters.
I'd like to convey a special welcome to our friends from Andijan Institute of Foreign Languages. I can see Dilrabo is here. She was here. I hope she's still here.
Hello, Dr.
Hello. Oh, you are here.
Very happy to be in this workshop.
Thank you. Oh, that's amazing.
Thank you. And
I saw Begoim also getting into the Zoom room a while ago. Thank you for attending and for sharing, the news with your colleagues, because we will invite you to future events. And by the way, January 25th, and Mohammed, I think we will have it under the SIG as well, the K12 SIG. We have an AI and advanced technology integration set of workshops or presentations. That's going to be Saturday, January 25th. We already have 3 potentially good speakers. So we will do 3 sessions similar to this event today. For our friends in Andijan School of Foreign Languages, plus whoever would like to attend from the K12 SIG. Awesome. So you can mark your calendars from now, January 25th.
Thank you. Amazing news. We'll definitely share, and we'll involve more volunteers, because this is really amazing while learning. And it was very
All right. So any questions from the audience? Thank you for our brothers and sisters.
Any questions, guys? Like
Pakistan. So can Dr. Christine, can you give us some titles that we can read on action research? I know there are a few books by scholars that did present at TESOL Arabia before. I myself did attend some presentations, action research under TESOL Arabia previously, formerly TESOL.
Well, I would say that the classics are one of the ones that I cited, which was the David Noonan. That was way back in the beginning, in the 90s, I believe. Another person who's very famous in the realm of action research is a scholar from, I think she's Australian, Anne Burns. She's been to TESOL Arabia and spoke about action research. So that's all I could... I mean, I just think now there's so many good things that are open access. Just a Google search could get a lot of publications. I know also there is a book by Richard Smith through the British Council that is available on open access on the topic of action research. I think it's geographically situated, so it might be action research somewhere. I can't recall. But good question. But I think a Google search will get you a lot of good things.
Great. And Dr. Fathi, your presentation was just so large. Can you just highlight how presenters, especially novice presenters, can get over stage fright? You know, when we meet, and it happened, you know, to all us at some point, when you meet the audience and all of a sudden you freeze, you're so intimidated by just a large group of people in front of you, you know, looking up to you, expecting you, you know, to deliver a message.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to start in front of a large audience. I mean, you need to start small and build that confidence and trust. But believe me, even experienced, you know, professional speakers during those few seconds, they get that stage fright, and they sometimes, you know, kind of lose a little bit of their focus and attention. So that's normal. But anyone who experiences, you know, stage fright or fear, within a few minutes it's gone. And you know, if the topic is interesting and engaging, they are going to see it in the eyes of the audience. Okay, you know, look at the audience eyes, and that's a sort of a source of inspiration.
Can I also add to that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's important to realize that when we go to see a presentation, we don't go in with a view of, oh, I hope this is a terrible waste of time. We go in with a positive attitude. And most of the time, you know, you have to believe that everybody's there, you know, wanting the session to be good, wanting to learn something. But one thing for me that really changed my life, not just in presentations, is joining an organization called Toastmasters. Toastmasters is a worldwide organization that helps people from all professions develop their public speaking and leadership skills. If any of you are wanting to join or to see what a Toastmasters club is all about, I have founded a club called Dubai Legends. I think some of you have been to that club. If you email me, I can tell you when the next thing is. Somebody asked for it to be spelled Toastmasters, I guess.
Just Toastmasters.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm directly messaging Hanan, and my eyes are too bad now to figure it out. But it's toast, you know, to give a toast to something. Yeah. So Toastmasters is, and there are clubs. There's 92 clubs just in Dubai. So if
somebody's asking, is it online?
Well, my club is, because we started it during the pandemic.
It's called Dubai Legends.
Dubai Legends. We have members from all over the world, in fact, in our club. Yeah, so email me and I'll put you in touch with our membership, with our VP membership, and you can come to our next meeting, which I think is the 28th of December at 7 o'clock Dubai time.
Okay.
All right.
Any heads up about the upcoming TESOL conferences? in
Well,
Spain?
we're ready to go, but we got to finalize a venue. As you know, we can't
Not the
really.
Canadian University.
No, we're going to go to another venue, but unfortunately, there's plenty of interest. So, but it takes time, especially this time of the year, to get an answer. So, yes. So our plan is still 18th through the 20th of April, but we're also considering, I don't know how you would feel about this. We're also considering, because now it's so difficult to find a time during this semester with Ramadan, the two Eids, TEFL, TESOL.
Yeah.
We're thinking of perhaps moving to the fall. What do you think of that? October, September, end of September, October.
Oh, well, that's for everybody to answer, really. I think it will be a little too hot in Dubai
Really?
in October.
It's pretty much the same, isn't it, in March or April versus
It's
October?
always the same in Saudi Arabia and Dubai.
But Mohammed,
year.
it might be hot, but you're going to be in a nice air-conditioned venue. So
Yep.
keep that in mind. We don't know yet, but it's getting harder and harder as Ramadan and the Eids move through the spring semester to find a thing that is convenient to all. So
It's quite unlikely because of the heat and the weather. But if you are stuck, we're probably going to be left with limited choice. So we'll see. The following few days will clarify things.
All right. So
but thanks for your interest. We hope to see you all there.
Yeah, of course. Any other questions?
I saw a question by somebody saying about how has AI impacted our reviewing and accepting of proposals. I had not, because I only do the invited speaker proposals. Melanie takes care of the general proposals. And when she mentioned the whole idea about, using AI or ChatGPT to tidy up proposals, what a wonderful idea. But, I look at it also like how my students use ChatGPT, where it's like, okay, write a 5,000 word paper on this topic, and that's what they turn in. So I don't know, but I'm sure Melanie has plans to infuse the use of ChatGPT in the reviewing and the accepting of proposals. However, as far as I know, we don't really have a mechanism like a plagiarism detector for the use of AI. We don't have one that's completely reliable yet. So that'll be a game changer when we do, for all things. Ramadan, did I see your hand raised?
Yes, I have a question regarding the use of AI in academic research. You've mentioned many times that we're allowed to use AI in academic research. So the question is, to what extent can we use AI in preparing our research paper?
Oh boy!
So some say you can use it openly, you can fully depend on it. Some say no, it's prohibits actually. The researcher from being creative enough. So what's your opinion?
Personally, I have a very hard line against the use of AI because, and I think I've only used ChatGPT 3 times, and 2 of the times were because I was taking an AI course and I had to use it as part of an assignment. I personally feel it's a good thing to use to get ideas from, to see, have I covered everything in a certain topic? But, I feel that I can write better than ChatGPT, quite frankly. So I don't see myself ever saying, write a paper on multiple choice questions, etc., and then submitting that to a journal. I can't think of anyone who would do that and think it's okay. I don't know how do the rest of you feel. Maybe I'm being too mean. Maybe it's the end of developing writing skills and let's just let ChatGPT do our jobs for us. Am I being mean? or judgmental? I don't know. You tell me.
Ramadan.
I
Yeah,
don't
what do you
think so.
think?
You're so right. I do agree with you. We need to use ChatGPT, but in a limited way. We can we can broaden our just ideas. That's all. But in my
The problem,
opinion, in my humble
Ramadan, the problem is that there are no limits.
Right,
This is an open space where,
right.
sorry, the minute you think there are limits, no, there are no
Yeah.
limits. It's something really unlimited. So we need to capitalize on the opportunities. We need to still learn about this AI thing. There's a lot to be learned
And for
still.
me, it's not only AI. There are tons of shady practices in editing journals and things like that. You should see some of the things I get. I edit the Asia TEFL Journal and Language Teaching Research Quarterly, and literally scholars from certain countries, they each write an article for submission. They put their name and 10 other colleagues' names on the article. And then each of those 10 people write an article and add everybody's name. So it's kind of like this scattergun approach of getting 10 publications. And if you're a scholar, you know that it takes a long time. When we graduate with a doctorate, we have a specialization. For me, it was assessment. So for 10 years, I did work in assessment, but now I've been 35 years into the profession. So now I have other areas where I've developed expertise, but it took me 35 years. I wasn't just a graduating doctoral student who suddenly can write an academic paper in 10 different areas. So don't get me started, but ChatGPT is just one of the many academic scams. There's also the academic scams where people who have an article published every week because they have doctoral students. So the doctoral students write the article, slap their advisor's name on it, and there you go, a publication every week. So there's lots of things that we need to think about, like what's ethical and what isn't.
Well, that's a topic for
That's another session, another K
That's the
through
topic
12
we will
session.
address on January 25th.
Indeed, yes. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. So no more questions are coming. People filled in the form and we answer the questions. This event was about conferences doing action research and then getting your proposal about this action research accepted at a conference and how to actually present this action research at the conference. So it was a holistic view at everything. And we will dig deeper into these in upcoming events as well. Thank you very, very much for being here, Dr. Fathi Ben Mohamed, Dr. Christine Klum, and of course, Melanie Gobert. She's not here, she's left. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. And thank you, the SIG members who helped this happen. And looking forward to seeing everybody in our next events.